What happens.
All right.
I'll play a little intro music for us.
All right.
Waiting for Mr. Spurg. So, yeah, like basically. Welcome, Project Ion Podcast, episode 14. Today's February 6th, 2019. Coming live from Northwest Iowa. I think I hear Spurge right behind me. Perfect timing, Spurge.
What's up, buddy?
Have a seat.
Over there?
Yeah, that's fine.
You ready? How are you?
Good.
Are we testing? Or?
No, we're going, but what the hell? Might as well.
Oh, hello, everybody. Spurge just feet.
Braved the freezing
this
rain.
Is new.
Yeah. Do you like the setup?
I do.
Pull that microphone. I think maybe like 3-5 inches away should be all right.
Be out right here.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm in the yellow zone.
Yeah, I'm gonna
on your
bring
little
up the
equalizer
stream
guy
again.
there. That's what that's called, right? An equalizer.
Yeah.
So if I say, like, I'm gonna go to the pool.
I think it sounds pretty good. Okay.
Did you get new mic? Oh, you got covers.
Yeah, I got.
Is that what's different? Yeah.
Got like little pop windscreen thingies.
Okay.
Like them. Looks professional.
Taylor's like half in the forest.
I am. That's where I belong, though. So I'm good with it.
Okay, we're dicking around too much. I promised Kevy I'd do a good intro here. Where did I leave off? Okay, so appearing in spirit in tonight's episode are the other hosts, Mr. Kyle Grems, who's on paternity leave currently.
R.I.P.
Yep, and Mr. Kevin Grems had a previous engagement this evening, so he couldn't be here. But we're very pleased to have Mr. Andrew Spurgeon with us this evening, and then my good friend Taylor Olson.
Tay made it.
Yep. We can be found online at projectionpodcast.home.blog.
Oh, that's new.
That is new. Yep. We've got all the episodes now on iTunes, so you can find us on iTunes by searching Project Ion Podcast.
Not going to promote Mac.
We're obviously on YouTube, currently 29 subs. So,
ooh, who's going to be that 30?
Watch out, PewDiePie. We're coming for you. And then finally, you can email us at projectionpodcast.gmail.com. Excuse me. We take questions, comments, or if you'd like to be a guest or a sponsor, by all means, hit us up.
We will take money.
Yep. Yeah, seriously. Where else can you get the kind of exposure?
That's right.
For your advertising dollar that are 29 subs here.
29 subs
at the Project
Some
Ion
of the videos
podcast.
are routinely getting 50 views.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, if Eric Hansen's in it, you know Shemp's watching it at least 40 times. So.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
I think our best performer was the Eric Hansen episode.
It was.
And then I sort of feel like the Ben Schunkweiler, Tony Condon one was like a close second.
That was
Maybe
a good one.
I'd have to check the view count again, but
the funny, oh man. So speaking of Eric Hansen, Megan and I were in Fairway last time. My girlfriend Megan and I were in Fairway picking up some stuff to cook for dinner, and all of I hear, well, hey Spurge, and I look up, and she goes, he was on your podcast. And it was a very Megan saw a famous Estervillian. So Eric, you made her night. It was always good to see him.
Yeah, Eric he's pretty famous.
Always has a smile on his face.
He looks great. Like, he's lost so much weight.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess I hadn't seen him probably in 10, like,
been a while.
seriously, like 5 to 10 years
Been a minute,
till the cast night.
No, he's doing well.
He's got a tat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if you guys want to dive right into some material, I've got some stuff. We could keep it light to start with.
Jim's got mats.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to do is show a video of Tay's birthday party. It's his favorite guitar player, and this is a good one.
Oh.
Ron Jeremy?
Let me switch over to the display. Oh God, here we go.
Yngwie, baby.
Yngwie. No, you gotta check this out. This is from last summer.
What? Oh man.
Okay.
Oh, you did that mid kick, man. That is
man.
Great. Look at those pants.
I could never fit into something like that.
Let's just talk about the optics of this real quick.
No, I mean he is, and the one smoke machine.
Yeah, just the one.
Just
not going in from the other side.
No,
the one.
Just the one. But look at the stacks behind him.
Yeah, that's a big old fake wall. Absolutely, but you gotta have it.
Oh yeah.
Gotta have it.
They're all dummies for sure.
Yeah, right.
And there's like maybe one.
Because doesn't he have one? The way I understand, and I'm far from an expert on this, he has like one that he's plugged into, and then they mic the hell out of that.
Typically, it's like 1 to 2, and even nowadays with the way sound equipment has come, it's usually like one in, and then it's a direct out. So usually they don't even
straight into the PA.
Yeah, they don't even mic them up anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's all digitally processed and good to go. What I'm trying to figure out is he has looks like a 1960 A and B cab. But for some reason, we have 3 TSLs on top of it.
Yeah.
But there's only 2 cabs to come out.
I mean,
I'm a little confused by that, but it looks cool. I'll give him that. It looks cool.
Does it look cool, though?
That's the real question.
So, I pulled a little information on our buddy, Tay's favorite guitar player.
Okay, so question. For those of us that don't follow this scene, who's Yngwie?
Oh, I'm prepared here. I'll explain it to you.
He's gonna go through it real quick.
Yeah. Right. Let me get back to the camera here quick. So, Yngwie is a renowned guitar player in guitar circles, I would say, for being a shredder of the neoclassical variety.
Okay.
He's known for playing a lot of instrumental music at blistering speed.
Yes.
He rose to popularity in the 80s.
Oh.
So I think that, visually 80s is give you an 80s vibe.
I see it. Yep.
Trying to keep the dream alive.
Yep. Played in a variety of bands. And he's had a long career, but I think it's fair to say that like the bulk of his music has been, shreddy, instrumental type stuff.
Yes.
I think he did have a bump in popularity around the Guitar Hero video game thing from like 10, 15 years ago. Because I sort of feel I'm kind of off shooting from the hip here, but I think maybe he was like had a song or two or something in one of those Guitar Hero.
It's possible. I mean,
games.
I played a lot of Guitar Hero.
I was gonna say Tay was super into that.
Do you remember any like arpeggios from Hell or anything like that, or?
I don't remember playing anything Yngwie specific.
Who's that drag? Oh, that's Avenged Sevenfold, that Dragon song that I see people always trying to perfect on Extreme Hard or whatever.
Dragon Force.
There's a Dragon Force song on there, which they are heavily influenced by Yngwie's style.
Sure.
I don't remember in Yngwie. It may have been like a Secret Unlock type of thing in like 2 maybe, but I wouldn't confirm that. I remember the hard ones were some pretty sick Randy Rhoads, Ozzy Osbourne stuff. Like Bark at the Moon, I remember was like the song of Guitar Hero 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it was impossible.
And John the Fisherman.
Yes.
Primus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, he's definitely not like an Eddie Van Halen or a Slash or something,
Right.
household name status,
Yeah.
but he is pretty widely known among guitar players.
What are some of the bands he's like? Is he more of like a featuring Yngwie?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's always been
thing?
like
I think he's always been a solo artist.
Yngwie,
I can't think of if he did a band, it would have been just like a stint, like 1 or 2 years, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, he has primarily been.
But it's the Yngwie show.
He's like the Kenny G of guitar. I
Right,
mean, he's
yeah.
just Kenny G doesn't have a band. It's Kenny G. You know.
But
That's
I mean,
right.
look at how much like he's got his band shoved to the side
Well, yeah, it's all about Yngwie.
on the stage here.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
picks.
You know,
I just
and then
noticed that.
he's just
Wait.
chucking picks
Oh,
and kicking
yeah.
them and
So is this tapping? I don't know much about guitars, but
Currently, no. Currently, he's just. I would say
it's just like
that's some tapping right there. I'll give you that.
okay.
He's a shredder, so you got a lot of styles coming in, fast picking, a lot of legato stuff. This is what you call pedal note for non-guitar players. That bassist is just happy as all get out right
Oh
there.
man, he's so stoked.
Well, that was impressive.
Spectacular.
He must spend his spare time playing hacky sack. That's the only thing I can think
And
of.
those picks got to weigh a lot, right, to fall that consistently.
They don't weigh a ton.
But if
really don't.
you throw a guitar pick, I feel like it would flutter a lot more than you wouldn't be able to.
I would say if you can get a guitar pick past row 5, you have practiced throwing them.
Yeah, and that homie,
Like,
he booted that into 10.
He kicked that thing. I've never seen someone kick a guitar pick.
right. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'll give him that. I mean, that was
I was not terribly thrilled with what we've heard so far. That to me is not Yngwie-esque. That to me was sounding very Eddie. You know, a lot of little taps in there, a lot of pedal notes.
Let's skip ahead a
of
little
Eddie.
bit into the performance, and we'll go at about the 15-minute mark. You
All
should
right.
be warmed up here.
See if we got some
15
major shreds
minutes.
going on yet.
Oh, this is the whole show.
Yeah.
There we
There
go.
we go. The facial expressions. He's close. He's close.
But okay, here's 15. Let's try like 45.
It's gonna sound the same.
Okay, how about an hour?
We're still going.
Okay.
So, how does this guy get ready for a show?
I assume he just shows up at this point.
Right, but
Yeah.
but I mean, he got to stretch. He's kicking high.
He is. He is.
He's kicking high
You have to think.
in very restrictive leather pants.
This is probably. I mean, I would say Yngwie is probably still doing a pretty decent tour. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
So I would imagine he's still doing, a half year's tour most of the time.
and lots of amphetamine.
hmm
Probably.
Well,
Probably. Given those facial expressions,
Right.
I'm going with yes.
I mean, this video was from your birthday party, Tay. So you tell us how did it sound? No, okay. Seriously though, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I agree.
we can all agree. Because that's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
an up and down, up and down, up
Yeah.
and down,
Yes.
up and down, up and down.
Noodling. Oh, and
Noodling.
turkey noises.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
While a bass player goes, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom.
basically, because it's the Yngwie show, you don't get a rhythm guitarist. You get a bass
No.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, bass player
That's
and a
it.
drummer.
Nothing can take away from the guitar playing.
But the drummer is only doing
like a 4/4
only keeping
rock.
time. Yes,
That's all he
exactly.
can do. That's all he can do.
But I got a lot of respect for the ability and the technique and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on it. It's cool, but it's so over the top, kind of.
I
that,
agree.
I mean, I feel like
Yngwie.
if he'd slow it down, play
There's
a melody.
there's not a lot of I guess what you would call a smooth legato type melody with Yngwie.
Oh, no, it's just-
I mean, if you get a held note, like those triplet 64ths are coming right behind it. I mean, it's guaranteed. But like you said, the man has technical talent out his ears.
Mhm.
He's obviously well known for what he does. He's a huge shredder, huge influence. He really brought the neoclassical movement to the States to give us bands like Dragon Force, who became very popular in their own right
He's 55 years old,
and still doing it.
and he has been active since 1978
Yep.
when he was 15 years old.
Yep. Yeah, he was a Child prodigy.
Associated Acts, Steeler, Alcatraz.
Yeah, there you go. Alcatraz.
With 2 Z's. Here and Aid.
Nope, never heard of it.
And G3.
G3, for those of you who don't know, is a huge guitar festival, I suppose. You get some of the big names: Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen, Eric Clapton, Eric Johnson, Joe Satriani. You get a lot of these guys known for their guitar playing. A lot of them solo careers, and then they all come together and play. Really, some interesting stuff comes out of G3. As a guitar player, it's really interesting to listen to because they have to work together, so they can't just shred on each other all the time.
For sure.
So you get a little bit more melody out of it.
All right, Tay.
Yes.
Put your super band together. Who's going in it?
Oh man. Whew. Can we pick
a spot?
Can we pick a genre, or do I just have to go with the super band?
No, I don't care. Whatever, man. It's no rules.
Because I mean, it changes, right? Because there's a lot of good guitar players in a lot of different genres.
How about you just put a generic rock super band together?
All right. Rock super band. Probably got to have 3 guitar players at least.
Yeah, I mean minimum.
You have to.
Yeah.
Just start naming people from Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Right, Steve Gaines. See, I would probably go more like I don't know. I'd probably bring it a little bit more modern.
Do you guys know the guys from Lynyrd Skynyrd all had the same color eyes?
I did not know that.
It wasn't until after the plane crash they were all blue.
Oh man, terrible.
Just here with the color tonight, guys.
Well, I was taking you literally there at first, Spurge. Because I was like, "Whoa, really?" Because there's been like 80 people that have been in Lynyrd Skynyrd.
that would be an interesting coincidence.
The odds of that would be very low.
No, usually it's a challenger joke, but modified.
Right. No, that was pretty good. Super band. All right. So if I was going super band, I'm not even going to put Yngwie in there. Actually,
no Yngwie.
Yngwie.
I think I would probably go with something like Eddie Van Halen, probably Angus Young, and I'd probably throw the oddball in there, and that would probably be like Marty Friedman, Megadeth, or Kirk Hammett. I think Marty Friedman's probably technically a slightly better player.
Mm-hmm.
Angus Young blows balls.
But I think that would be an interesting sound to have Eddie, Angus, and Marty Friedman all play together. I think the sound that would come out of that would be.
You gonna let Angus sing?
Sure. Man, if I had to pick a singer.
Yeah. Who's your front man or woman?
Pat Benatar.
Possibly.
Freddie Mercury.
I would actually probably go with Freddie Mercury. Would be a good one. He would actually probably fit that sound pretty well too.
He could do it just
sound
because
I'm
he
imagining.
Could do anything, you know.
I actually wouldn't put it past maybe like what was his name? Was it Sebastian Bach?
Oh,
not Johann.
Skid Row.
Skid Row.
Oh man.
Oh man.
No, I'm really not sure.
Okay, we got a viewer.
Brett Michaels. You got to put Brett Michaels up there.
Brett.
Have to.
Just 5 Brett Michaelses.
Yeah, and he can be the 4th guitar player too.
Okay.
Drummer, you're taking Neil Peart, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Just because if you're going to have 30-minute guitar soloing, you have to have 30-minute drum soloing.
Yeah, and 57 drums.
Right, and I don't know near enough bassists from the 80s to make an educated opinion on that.
Nikki
Does it
Sixx.
have to be the 80s?
Yeah.
How about, okay.
Well, given the sound that I was kind of putting together there.
Oh, I think
that was a lot of 80s stuff.
Yeah, but I think you could make a really good bass line for like Tim Bob from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. Or you could take like Tosin Abasi. I mean, he plays like a 12-string guitar anyway, so
yeah, just Tosin Abasi and a drummer.
Yeah, that's
Him
all
and
you need.
John Bonham, you're set.
Yep.
Okay, Gerald Greenberg says Geddy. I think he's talking about Geddy Lee from Rush,
yes,
probably.
I would imagine.
Both Allman Brothers.
I thought Gerald Greenberg was in the room with me.
And then Trevor on drums. How come you didn't throw me in there, Gerald? What the hell?
I think Trevor would be bored to sit and play drums behind the Allman Brothers. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
45 minutes.
Have you ever listened to the Whipping Post?
Dude, that came on. That came on last night, actually, when I was at Woody's.
I love that song. You got me tied to the whipping post. It's a great song. I will. Yeah, I would not be upset about having the either Allman Brother in a band. To be honest.
Dwayne and Greg,
Yes.
right? Are they both are dead now, right?
Correct.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other one just died. The first one wasn't Dwayne in a
Dwayne died in like the
accident?
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. So,
After Life's a Peach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have it.
Tough sledding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I was just going through my records. I inherited my father's record collection.
Nice.
Dave was quite the enthusiast back in the day,
Yeah.
and found a Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore
Oh,
double album,
Cool.
still sealed.
Whoa.
He bought two of them. He played one, and he kept
the other.
the other one in the sealed
because,
packaging.
wow.
So I don't know. I'm sure I'll rip it open at someday, but
I'm pretty sure Coral's got that record. She's got some good ones too.
your mom sound like
Yeah.
I bet your mom has good taste in music.
Yeah, Mom had a legit record collection. Jim Sr. is the one with the ridiculous. So he only had 2 records.
The Carpenters.
He had Meet the Beatles, and then
Yeah.
he got a Johnny Cash record in college apparently. And his argument was, I mean, and bear in mind, like this is a day when everybody had
Correct. That's all there
like,
was.
hundreds.
That
of
was
records.
the thing.
Yeah, that
Right.
was all. Yeah,
Just like we had hundreds of CDs.
Correct.
Right, yep. Or yeah, the iPod. You know.
Yeah,
had thousands
exactly.
of songs on your. You
Exactly.
know, everybody had tons of records. Seniors got 2, and his argument was, why would I pay for a record when they play it for free on the radio?
That's
Oh, senior.
kind of. Yeah.
I just love that man.
Kind of.
I mean, he's not wrong. It just goes to show how much of a go with the flow kind of guy your old man can be.
Yeah.
You know, he just it'll show up on
Yeah.
the radio.
Yeah.
I can't
It'll be
stand
there.
behind that. I mean, if you release a bomb album, right, and I mean like
A
cream
bang.
of the crop,
A banger.
a banger,
Mm.
you get what?
That's what the
4
kids,
songs off that album that get record play?
Mm.
That's like a great album.
that's what the kids are saying these days.
You know,
A banger.
It's a banger. Yeah.
And then you listen to an album because you heard all their great songs,
Mm.
right? And you find some of those hidden gems in there.
Oh, yeah.
You really, really like that.
Just get
You
rid of
just can't live without.
Oh, sure.
I found
man.
that on quite a few. I'm a metalhead, so I found that on quite a few metal albums. Good example of that was Lamb of God's what was the name of the album? Ghost Walking.
Ghost.
There was a lot of songs on that were good, but Ghost Walking was the only one that really got the airplay on it, and it was probably my least favorite on the album. To be
Really?
honest, yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Interesting. I think sometimes getting the album is worthwhile. You
Oh,
know, just
I'm a big album fan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, and maybe I'm just a throwback to yesteryear or whatever, but
I don't know. I mean, I gotta look at bands like Coheed and Cambria, right? Coheed and Cambria.
Mhm.
If you didn't listen to the album, you had no idea what their music was about.
mhm.
Like from their first album to their last was all just. It's like a graphic novel in music.
Well, yeah, it's about Coheed and
Exactly.
Cambria.
Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
whole premise of the band. So if
Yeah.
all you hear is like "Welcome Home,"
Chocolate.
Oh, this is green tea.
you know you have no idea what's going on with the rest of it. So I think there's something to be said for having albums if you do like a band. I would not buy a Beatles album, but that's me personally.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you're wrong.
To each their own.
Yeah, Tay thinks the Beatles are overrated.
But there are opinions that are just wrong. So, I mean, and that is one of them. You know, the Beatles, they were just they were dynamic. They made songs that were very. They had different sounds on most each album, and they put out like how many of them
A lot.
in not very much time.
I
They
will.
weren't a band for very long.
What the
really.
Beatles did for the music industry, for the rock industry at the time, that really paved the way for a lot of people to come around.
Correct.
I will not bash the Beatles for what they did to music culture.
Yeah.
I just don't like their music.
Wrong.
I'm the same way with Jimi Hendrix. I think Jimi Hendrix is a phenomenal guitar player.
Mhm.
I respect what he can do.
Mhm.
I respect how he changed rock music.
Mhm.
Not a huge Jimi Hendrix fan.
Wrong.
See?
But yeah, that's okay.
When it comes to the Beatles, like my only issue that I ever had with it, and I would always limit my criticism and try to make it as narrow of a scope as possible, because I was always just objected to the remarks like, "Oh, the Beatles invented rock and roll," and that
Correct.
I mean
That's not right.
that's not true.
not
you
true.
know
That's not right.
that kind of stuff. I mean, if you listen to the very earliest Beatles music, it's sort of the British version of what was happening in
Yes.
American rock in like
Right.
the 1950s, which
Yep.
makes sense
Right.
because that was out 5 to 7 years before they
Mhm.
Yep.
got big. So
Exactly.
you know,
But I mean, that's I don't know. That's what happens, I guess, when you hit that superstardom, right?
Mhm.
Elvis Presley is another example. Can't stand his music.
Not a big fan.
Okay, but what he did for the music culture, how he basically shaped a generation.
Mhm.
The Beatles did the same thing. They shaped a generation, and I can't knock them for that.
What's real fun to think about, Dad and I were talking Elvis a couple nights ago. They had gone to Graceland and checked that all out, which they said was really cool and worth a trip. But I'm like, yeah, just think about it though. He was the biggest act of that time. He drew the biggest crowds. His biggest crowd was like 12,000 people.
Hmm.
That's nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, not anymore.
That's nobody. Well, I mean, even compared to like nowadays, yeah, you get these arena shows, but think about like what was it? Was it Zeppelin? Someone played in New York for free
Mm.
and shut down Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like
I think Clapton did that.
Yeah.
if
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
mistaken.
hundreds and hundreds of thousands
Yep.
of people.
And I think part of the thing too is if you look at the Elvis era, right? Think about the communications they had then, right?
True.
You had like a newspaper, you had radio. I mean that was your media,
Mhm.
Yeah, you had a channel
and nothing reached.
Some people had
I couldn't
TVs.
figure. I had no idea what was going on the East Coast.
Yeah.
for like
You know what
2
I mean?
weeks.
So, like if he was coming in, obviously tour schedules could be put out and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's probably the same as today. For me, I'm not gonna fly to LA to go see a show. I mean, if it comes to Minneapolis, Omaha,
Maybe. Yeah.
maybe Sioux Falls, yeah. If it ends up in Des Moines, yeah. But that's still a 3-hour trek, and
Yeah.
it would have been the same back then.
Yeah.
So you got to think, and a lot of these people just played, college auditoriums, high school auditoriums, a city hall,
Right. Something like that.
the outdoor festival
Mhm.
type feel wasn't
County
there.
fairs.
Yeah, county fairs. I mean,
Mm.
arena rock didn't
Right.
exist. Arenas didn't exist.
Yep.
There was no purpose to any of that. So, but yeah, like I said, what the superstars did for the culture, you just can't argue that how it has
Yeah.
shaped our music today.
And I like shows. I don't know though anymore. I don't like big shows. Not a fan. Like the biggest, I'll go. I love Red Rocks. That's a lot of fun out in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't want to go to the Target Center. I
Yeah.
really don't want to
Go
go to
see
Wells.
Taylor Swift at
T
Wells
Swift,
Fargo
kill
Arena.
it.
Yeah, you kind of get detached from it. Becomes the thing.
You're right. It's then it's you're there. People are everywhere. You're not in the music.
Mhm.
My favorite venue recently is a place down in Makokata, Iowa. It's a little gem called Codfish Hollow.
Hmm.
It's a barn. You park.
Oh, I've heard of that place.
You park in a pasture. You
Yep.
jump on a hay rack, and they take you down to the barn.
Right.
It can fit probably 200 people or so inside the barn.
Mm.
Bunch at the thing. You just get a super group of a this week said if I don't. It says we're live.
Trying again.